Okay. So we can start with the prayer. Chandra heli prayer. Chana heltira.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Akandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay. So what shall we start with today?
60 Alama.
We'll 60. Just 60. Repeat Marna 60 because last week, though, one sati we'll just repeat once and then we can go forward. Okay. So this is the 60th shloka of the Sthita Prajna Lakshana. And we can chant this. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Yes. Chandra, you want to chant? Yeah.
Mama. Yatato
Yapi.
Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha.
Okay. Next, anyone?
Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramatini haranti prasabham manaha.
Okay. Padmaja Indra.
Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha.
Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha.
So it says, the senses are so strong and turbulent, O son of Kunti, that they can forcibly carry away the mind even of a person endowed with discrimination and one who practices self-control. That is the strength of the senses, indriyani, the senses. So even when you're practicing self-control, it says it's very easy to get carried away by the force of the senses. So Padmaja, you please share last 2-3 shlokas you have not shared, no? Let us share the meaning from your, even the previous ones also you can just recount so that we can go through them. I think 58, 59 also you didn't share, no? Everything is a kind of, it has the same, it is a flow. You are muted.
Yeah, 50, I said 15, 60, anyone else can take it up. I can do for 59. I think I didn't tell it.
Please do 59, sure.
Okay.
Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjyam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. Okay, yes, you tell us.
So it says, translation says, want me to chant or translation?
Translation you give now.
Aspirants may restrain the senses from their objects of enjoyment, but the taste for the sense objects remain. However, even this taste ceases for those who realizes the supreme.
Yeah.
It says that, like, when one gives up eating, as in a fast, the desires of senses become feeble. Similarly, in sickness, then one doesn't feel like eating. They lose the interest towards the objects of enjoyment. They may not feel like watching TV or doing anything. It's like these tastes of dispassion are temporary, but the seed of desire still remains within the mind.
Yeah.
And again, when the fast is terminated or the sickness goes away, the desires, they return. So here they say that what is the seed of desire? The seed of desire is the intrinsic nature of the soul for the divine bliss of God, of whom it is a tiny fragment. So until this soul gets the divine bliss, the soul can never be contented. And the search for happiness will continue. It continues for some kind of material happiness, this, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Spiritual aspirants may forcibly restrain their senses with their willpower, but such restraint is temporary because it doesn't extinguish the internal flame of desire.
Correct.
However, when the soul engages in devotion towards the Supreme and gets the divine bliss, it is that time that it experiences the higher taste for which it had been craving since infinite lifetimes.
Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita doesn't teach a dry suppression of desires. Instead, it teaches the beautiful path of sublimation of desires by directing them towards God.
Yes, exactly.
So when you have the devotion, the love for the highest, the lowest shall fall away by itself.
Fall away by itself. Yeah. Very nice. Very beautiful. Anyone wants to comment on that? Chandra?
If you want, I can add a little more.
Yeah, please.
Unless one is transcendently situated, it is not possible to cease from sense enjoyment. The process of restriction from sense enjoyment by rules and regulations is something like restricting a diseased person from certain types of eatables. The patient neither likes the restrictions nor loses his taste for eatables. They say Ashtanga Yoga, Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, and Dhyana is recommended for less intelligent persons who have no better knowledge. But the one who has tasted the beauty of the Supreme Lord Krishna in the course of his advancement in Krishna consciousness no longer has a taste for the dead material things. One who is actually Krishna consciousness automatically loses his taste for all these pale things. So every day when we do our sadhana, chant mantras, we are attaching ourselves to higher Supreme.
Yeah.
And once we are attached to this higher Supreme, the reality, we automatically lose the taste for the lower things.
Very good. Correct. Is that our experience? Chandra, Indra, Deepa, is that our experience?
It is very well explained. Whatever she says is 100% right. But ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ಗೇನೆ ಒಂದ್ ಚುಚ್ಚಿ ಹೇಳೋ ತರ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸಗಳು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರು ಅದು ಹಾಳಾದ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು ಅದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆನೆ ಒಂಥರ ಇವತ್ ಬಿಡೋಣ ನಾಳೆ ಬಿಡೋಣ ಅಂತ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ಪೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸೊ ಸಾಧನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನು ಡೀಪ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನು ನೋಡಿ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಈಸ್ ಟರ್ನ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಇದು ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಇವಾಗ ಗಿವ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ. ಇಂದ್ರಿಯ ಹೇಳಿ ಚಂದ್ರ.
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ನಾನು ಕಾಫಿಗಳು ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ. ಎಲ್ಲನ ಹೋದ ಕಾಫಿ ಕುಡಿತೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು
ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. See, that is what it is saying here. You convert everything into divine activity anta.
Okay.
ಇದು ದೇವರ ಪ್ರಸಾದ ಕುಡಿದ್ಬಿಡಿ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ ನೀನು ಕುಡಿಯಕ್ ನೀನು ನಿಂತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ಯಾ, ನಿನ್ ಬದಲ ನಾವು ಕುಡಿತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಿಪರೀತ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಆದರೂ ಈ ತರ ನಾನು ದೇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಗಾಡ್ ಅಂತ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್, then we automatically it will come under control. For example, if somebody's coffee is very fine, no problem. God will also like, I think. But if you are, if one is has some bad habit or harmful, rather than bad, I would say harmful, which harms the body and the mind. Then when you're offering alcohol, for example, to God, you will think twice. Alva, ayo, Krishna koda ido anta ondsati yochne baratalva. So that is the prescription given by Ramakrishna Paramahamsa also. Everything you offer it to God, anta, whatever you do. And another beautiful thing Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says is, see, we have got all these terrible emotions within us, which for us only, it is harmful for us only. We don't like anger, hatred, jealousy. All that is very strong. Even little things like gossip, talking about somebody, getting little angry with the neighbor, whatever it is. So Ramakrishna says, you become angry with God. Instead of shouting at the person, who is hurting you, so instead of shouting at the person with whom you are angry, you shout at God. ಯಾಕೆ ಹೀಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೆ ಅಂತ, ದೇವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೈದ್ಬಿಡು ಅಂತ, ಏನು ಅನ್ಕೊಳಲ್ಲ ದೇವ್ರು ಅಂತ. So this is, I think this is a wonderful idea actually. You can actually implement it. You become jealous with God. You have a conversation with God all the time. Whichever, not Krishna, whoever is your Ishta Devata, you can have a conversation with that God. Anta. Do you think it's a nice idea? Huh? It should work.
Yes, ma'am.
ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ದವಾಗ್ಲೇ ನಾನು ಆ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಇವಾಗ. ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ಅವಾಗ ಎದುರುಗಡೆ ಇರೋರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂಥರ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮೈಲ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. When you get angry.
See, so nice. Good. Indra, you wanted to say something?
No, about the senses, food have somehow by itself it is controlled. Purnima, before I used to like so much eating outside. Now that is by itself it is coming down. I don't know. I like to eat very mild food. I don't know how.
That is also age also, I think. As you age, your children will love to go and eat outside, no?
Yeah.
She's not aged more than me, ma. She's young only. She's not aged more than me.
Compared to her children, she is old, no?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
as we mature, see, that is also one hint that is given in the Gita. So, one is with maturity, a whole lot of things will drop. That is fine.
Yes.
But to deliberately, of your own free will, if you can control, that's even more, that means you are the master of your own mind. No?
Ma, once I called Guruji regarding this only. Kelu foods ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಭುಜಿ, ಬಿಟ್ಟೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂಥರ ಅದೇ ಇದಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದವಾಗ ಅದೇ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣನ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆ ತರ ಇವಾಗ ಪದ್ಮಜ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗಿದೆ.
ಪದ್ಮಜ ಅವರ ಇವಾಗ ಇಂದ್ರ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಲ್ವಾ?
ಇಂದ್ರಜ ಅವರು ಗುರುಜಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗತ್ತಮ್ಮ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಯರ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಆತರ ಆಟೋಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೊಟ್ಟೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
Okay, because the more see, ಇದು ಡಬಲ್ ಎಡ್ಜ್ ಸ್ವೋರ್ಡ್. ಇದು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಪಟ್ಕೊಂಡು with the more you go and have ಕಾಫಿನೇ ಇರ್ಲಿ, the more you have, the thirst for it increases. Yes or no? ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಆಸೆ. ಹಿಂದೆ ಬಿದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಆಸೆ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗೋ ಬದಲು ಇನ್ನೂ ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಬೇಕಾದಷ್ಟು ನನ್ಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅನಿಸ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೊಂದು ವಿಚಿತ್ರ. ದಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಇದು ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ದ ಮೋರ್ ಯು ಅಕ್ವೈರ್, ದ ಮೋರ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್. ರಕ್ತ ಬೀಜಾಸುರ. They are so dangerous. That is why they are so dangerous, and that is why the traces of the desires will remain even after we die, which is so scary. That should be enough to scare us to behave ourselves. We'll carry the same vasanas, imagine, and we are again reborn with that. It is so dangerous. So in one talk, Guruji had said how to control these uncontrolled senses anta.
live life like a daily wage worker. Anta. See, it is so beautiful. That tip is so beautiful. Live life like a daily wage worker. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು, ಇವತ್ತಿಗೆ ಏನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತೋ ಅದ್ ತಗೋತೀನಿ, ಹಾಯಾಗಿರ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾಳೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. I'll just enjoy whatever is there in front of me. I'll neither go behind something. Whatever comes to me on my plate on its own, I'll enjoy it. That's it. And I will not think of what I have to acquire for tomorrow. What I will not make elaborate plans. I will not book a ticket for some show, or I'll not book a reservation in a grand restaurant. See, the moment you plan something for tomorrow or day after, the mind is always waiting for that, isn't it? I'm free on Sunday. I'll go there. I'll do this. I'll do this. The senses are already engaging the mind in something which is not in the present moment. So the Guruji says that live life like a daily wage worker. Today, I have to do 8 hours of duty. I'll take my salary and go. Like that. You think that's a good idea? Can we do that? We can try.
Yeah.
Purnimaji, I feel it is automatically, it's coming actually. We don't think much. I mean, I'm not doing that. Before I used to plan a lot and all, but automatically those things are coming down. I don't know how, but as you say, it is maturity or by listening to
Satsang, yeah, definitely.
like always tomorrow anxious. That is not there. I'm like finishing the day, then if the next day, then I'll start for that.
Very good.
So I'm more calmer now.
That is what we need, Indra. And
Yeah, I told you, last week we went to Mantralaya, and I don't know. Yeah, on the way there was so much of traffic from Bangalore. Before leaving, 3 hours from here it took to leave. But my husband was getting so much angry. I was sitting like no feelingless stone next to him, no reaction, nothing.
Excellent.
He was getting angry.
Indra is a Sita Prajna.
No.
There's no point. The traffic is bad. What can you do? You have to sit there and wait only. No, you cannot fly. Correct, Indra?
That's good. He was like, he was getting so much irritated, but I had no feelings only. I said, wait, let it go, then we'll move it.
Yeah, how does it matter? Well, you will arrive some 2-3 hours late at the most. What else can happen? Correct? Excellent.
Yeah.
See, that kind of commonsensical logic, that's actually what you're saying is common sense and logic. But even that we cannot exercise when we are angry. It's so terrible, no? We lose our common sense also.
Purnima, they say that common sense is not so common.
We don't deploy that, it is so terrible. Why we do that, Anta? Hey, that other, Yatato Happy Konteya, you finished up? No, for 59 you said.
Yeah, 59. 60 somebody else can take it here. I have not written.
The 60 verse was, wait, let me see what that 60 verse.
Yatato Happy Konteya.
That is also very beautiful actually.
Yeah.
All the verses are beautiful. Once again we'll do that. So the 60 verse says, the senses are so strong and turbulent, O son of Kunti, that can forcibly carry away the mind even of a person endowed with discrimination. Exactly. See, Indra, it's not that your husband has no discrimination. No, he's got a lot of viveka, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even then, and I'm sure at his workplace, he's a very good boss or whatever, and it is, and he has so many people under him, and he'll be giving them advice. But still, even for such a person, when you're put in a situation like this, a horrible traffic, they can forcibly carry away the senses, and it's so easy to get angry, to get frustrated. See, isn't it? So that tell. So, see, this is again just telling how dangerous the senses are. It's nothing more. How dangerous, and how we need to always be aware that, don't become a slave of the senses. That's all. And why is it? And there is one particular word here which the commentators concentrate on. Vipaschitaha. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha. Not just ordinary men. Purushaha is ordinary men. Vipaschitaha. Even Vipaschi is one who is a seeker, a sadhaka. All of us, whatever stage we are. Even us, even a seeker, even one who is endowed with intelligence, the Vipaschin, even for him it's difficult. It is what is being said. Because the senses are so strong, Pramathini, Haranti, and they are so strong and they just kidnap the mind. Asabham manaha. They kidnap the mind is what being said here. So what do we do? Next shloka. We will see what we have to do about that. So the next shloka is Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. This we can chant.
Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita.
Very nice. Megha, you chant by yourself. Now let us hear your voice.
Tani sarvani samyamani yuktaye asita matparaha vashihi yasya indriyani tasya prajnam pratishtitaha.
Very nice, Megha. Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. Who else will chant next? Chandra.
Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठितः.
So they are established in perfect knowledge who subdue their senses and keep their minds ever absorbed in me. So that's the only solution. How can I control the senses? Is instead of keeping them absorbed in all other objects of the world, keep them absorbed in me. That's the only solution. There is no other thing one can do about it. Because the sensory system, that there is no choice. You have to control the sensory system by any means. Okay. Otherwise, what happens? Like Prabhuji has told us 100,000 times, the knowledge will not go in. That's all. We are doing Shravana, we are doing Manana, we are doing Nidhyasana, but unless the other faculties are taken care of, they will not go deep inside. Isn't it? That is why all the other yogas are required. Otherwise, just jnana is enough. No, I know it and I'm done. It's not happening, no? See, we all know all the basic things, basic rules of this thing we know, isn't it? But why is it not translating so much? If it is not translating into our lives, that's because we are not doing about the other things. That is why dhyana yoga is required, japa yoga is required, karma yoga is required. That is why all the other prescriptions are given. That is why first Brahma Jnana and then Yoga Shastra, isn't it? So there's the example of King Ambarisha from the Puranas. He was a very, very. Have you heard of this King Ambarisha? Any of you?
No.
King Ambarisha Maharaja, he was so devoted to Lord Krishna. He was a king. He was ruling the kingdom. He was doing all the things. He was giving justice to people. He was a very, very good, a very sharp intellect he had. Yet, his mind was always absorbed in Krishna. Okay. Once this Durvasa comes, Durvasa Muni, of course, is known for his short temper. So Ambarisha and his wife, they'll be observing Ekadashi Upavasa on that day. And it's a very, very strict Upavasa. Nirahara, Nirjala. Nirahara to we do, and Nirjala Upavasa he's doing. And then and these people who are devotees, they have got very, very strict rules. What time you should start Upavasa, what time you should break Upavasa. That breaking of Upavasa is a big thing for them. So there'll be one muhurta which will be fixed, at which time you can have a sip of water. That is the proper way of breaking the upavasa also. So this Durvasa Muni comes when the Ekadashi Upavasa is happening. So the king and his wife, they do all the puja for him and say, okay, please dine with us. We are very happy you have come on today. We are about to break the fast. So you please, you have your bath and come. See, those days, bath means, Brahmins means they have to go and have a bath in the water, the rishis and munis in the river. So the Durvasa and his all his entourage, they went to the river to have a bath. And this Ambarisha and his wife, they are waiting for the guests to come back to have uta, have a great beautiful feast. But these guys are taking such a long time. They are having a bath. They are not coming, and this muhurta for breaking the fast is getting delayed. I mean, it's coming very fast. So everybody is in a fix. So the king's advisors, they tell him, Maharaj, you cannot break this. This muhurta is very important. You have to break the fast at this muhurta. You please have something. You have little water at least. It's okay. Then the Muni will come and you can have a feast with them. Then king says, no, I have promised him, and he's Durvasa Muni. I mean, he gets very angry also. I cannot do that. But then the muhurta was going away. So they tell him, okay, just have one tulsi leaf you put on your tongue and you break the fast. And then you can have a feast. Then Ambarisha feels, okay, it's a harmless advice. So he puts a tulsi leaf on his tongue and he waits for the Muni, the Durvasa to come back. So Durvasa comes back and he comes to know that this king has eaten one tulsi leaf and he gets mad. That's enough for him. He gets extremely angry and he curses Ambarisha. You have insulted a great sage, and all my shishyas you have insulted. So he will curse the king. So what does Ambarisha do? He goes and falls at Durvasa's feet and says, please forgive me. And then, then what happens? Then Sudarshana Chakra comes in the way. The God will deploy, Krishna will deploy his Sudarshana Chakra. He says, how dare you insult my devotee, Ambarisha? Like that. So to that extent, when you are engaged in the devotion of the Lord will come and protect you. That is what even the Krishna says in the later shlokas of the Gita. What does it say? Yoga kshemam vahamyaham ananyas chintayanto mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. If you are thinking of me instead of thinking of objects of the world, then I will take care of you. I will take care of your yoga kshema, means I will give you whatever you require to survive in this world. And I shall protect whatever you already have, your family, your wealth, your relationships, your job, whatever it is, I will take care of it. You don't worry about it. You engage all your senses unto me. That is what the Lord says. So here the Sudarshana Chakra comes, and Durvasa, of course, runs, tries to hide from the chakra. He goes to Shiva. Then Shiva says, no, I cannot do anything. This is the Sudarshana, Vishnu Sudarshana. It has got a mind of its own. I cannot help it. Then he runs to Brahma. Brahma says, no, Baba, don't even come to me. Then he runs to Vishnu himself and says, please, withdraw your chakra. Then Vishnu says, no, once it is gone from my hand, I cannot call it back. Then Durvasa says, no, please, I'm a sage, I'm a devotee, I do so much tapasya, you have to help me. And then Vishnu says, the only way is you fall at Ambarisha's feet and you take his, if he forgives you, then the chakra will come back to my finger. So that's what Durvasa does. He goes and begs the forgiveness of the devotee of the Lord. See, that Lord, for him, the devotee is the more supreme than the Lord. That's why Hanuman is more powerful than Rama, it is said. More than the Lord, the devotee is more important. So all of us have to become devotees. Let us not try to become Lord or God. Let us be devotees. Yeah? That's all. That's the purport of this shloka. Okay. Shweta has come now. Good morning, Shweta.
Good morning. Sorry, I'm out of town, so I'm trying to log in. It's a lot of I think air noise here.
Traveling is going on. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I've missed so many
Not at all.
classes.
Oh, sorry.
I work on Friday nights for the most part. By the time I log off, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, don't worry about it. Not at all. I was just friendly ribbing.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, the next two.
Yeah, I told my husband today I can join, so I woke up and I'm sorry I woke up. I'm half an hour behind here, so.
And don't you worry about anything, Shweta. Enjoy your stay in Bangalore for as long as it lasts. Yeah.
Another 2 weeks, then back to the pavilion.
Oh, just 2 weeks and you're back, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That must have gone really fast.
Yes. Especially when you work and sleep at 3 o'clock every day night, it's not.
That's so sad. Okay.
No, now I start my vacation, so I'm good.
Okay, great. Okay, that's very nice. So we can meet up also, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, next week sometime for sure.
All right. Okay. So, ladies, you want to share something about this shloka, or because 62 and 63 are very, very critical shlokas. Okay. They are the two important shlokas which tell us about the 8 steps to one's downfall. Not forget about the 7 steps to Vaikunta. It puts the 7 steps to hell. So we will do it next week when more people are here, or if they are not there, doesn't matter, we will do it. But Padmaja, you please prepare for that also, no? 62, 63. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangasteshopajayate sangas sanjayate kamaha kama krodho bijayate krodhat bhavati sammohaha sammohaha smritibramaha smritibhramshaha buddhinashaha pranashyati. Gone. Little spark of anger will lead to destruction of the very mind itself. Those are the shlokas we can take up next week. Yes.
Sure, I'll do that. I'll take it up.
Yeah. See,
Here
all
actually,
continue
to this Ambrish story, what you told.
Tell
it's
me.
an example that is given in Srimad Bhagavatam.
Correct.
In Ambrish, King Ambrish has used his mind, it seems, in remembering the lotus feet. How did he engage his senses? They gave that thing.
Tell
he used his mind in remembering the lotus feet of Sri Krishna.
Correct.
So he always used to think of that in the mind.
Correct.
He used his tongue in chanting the wonderful names, the forms, the virtues, and the pastimes of God.
Of the Lord. Correct.
Of the Lord. And the ears in hearing the narrations about the Lord. The eyes seeing the beautiful deity of God in the temple. The sense of touch massaging the feet of devotees of the Lord. The nostrils smelling the aroma from the agarbatis, from the fragment objects offered to the Lord in worship. In this way, he subdued all his senses by engaging them in the service of the Supreme. So this is what, you told the story. So this is how he engaged all his senses.
Correct. Engage all your senses towards the, beautiful. It's so beautiful. So how can we do that? Little bit we can also do. We are doing that, no? At least 1 hour we are here engaging our senses. We are listening, we are talking, we are thinking about the Lord only. More and more we need to do that. And when we are off from this specific Jnana Yagna, whole day, look at everything as God, Lord's creation. Whatever sense, whatever manner we can, bring that element into our lives. Prasadam, of course. See, it's in our culture only to eat food as prasadam, isn't it? And we are offering some water or something to guests and everything, offer it as a service or as a offering to Lord. So many things, little things, if we incorporate also, it's a great thing. It will be a great improvement in our life, isn't it? Anything else people want to add, or shall we call it a day for now?
I think I can explain this particular Tani Sarvani Samyama, this one, 61.
Yeah, please
So
do.
that person who is self-realized is beyond hankering and lamentation. He is free from desire, anger, and fear. He gets to the state of he gets to that state by getting a higher taste of God. So when the soul experiences the higher bliss of God, it naturally becomes detached from the lower bliss of the world.
Correct.
So when we are attached to God, we develop the desire for God. This desire for God will not dirty the mind. It will purify the mind, as the object of desire is all pure.
Correct.
So only those persons will be considered established in knowledge who have subdued their senses and restrained their minds from anger, greed, lust, and all attachments. So such kind of people will be considered self-realized or enlightened.
Yeah. Right.
The notes.
Very nicely
Sounds
explained.
like a tall order.
Yes.
Restrain the senses, restrain the senses, restrain the senses. Oh my God, it's so terrible. No? But before this, what Krishna has said about jnana, I'm going to hang on to that. I am not the mind, I am not the body, I am not the senses. I think that's a much easier way of going about this. What do you say, people? The moment we have a distance between the mind, body, and everything, then it's kind of loses the power. The mind will lose the power over you, isn't it? This is the Jnana Marga we are on. Okay, so let's come back next week with those two very important shlokas, 62, 63. All right, and all of us, please go through the shlokas and come up with some stories or points so that we can share. Okay. Aita?
Okay.
Okay then.
Okay.
Okay, Megha, will you tell a story next week? 62 and 63 shloka. Ask your mother.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Next week, we are going to start with story from Megha. All right? Done.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't wait for next Saturday. All right. Megha, you know any shloka? You want to close today with some shloka, you know? Hela. Come, tell.
Closing prayer.
Closing prayer.
Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya om shanti shanti shanti.
Superb. Lokaha samas. Tell.
Lokaah samastah sukino bhavantu. Lokaah samastah sukino bhavantu. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Excellent, Megha.
Thank you, Megha. Very nice it
Thank
was.
you very much. Next week, you tell us the opening prayer also and closing prayer also and story also. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Beautiful. Have a great weekend, Megha. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma'am.
Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.